I do not want my kid to come to me and be like, hey, I want to go get baseball lessons. And I'm like, I can't afford it. 3 deals that were going to get me like 75 grand, all supposed to close. Yeah. Next thing you know, all those deals went belly up. I'm out 20 grand in marketing costs. We were getting really, really broke. Like every month we were leveraging credit cards. That's when I found you and I was like, I need money now.
Yeah.
And went from $700 in the account, and next thing you know, I had 15 grand in my account, and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
That is so crazy, bro. Wholesale is the only industry that you can go into and have $400 in your bank account and walk out with $20,000 within 30 days, right?
Yeah. Your next goal is always going to be bigger than your first goal.
Parker!
Roy.
What's going on with you, man?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
It's been a long time coming.
Long time.
I'm going to go ahead and quote you from when we first met. I don't know about this. There's a lot of coaches. You could be a scammer. I don't know if I trust you. How do I know that you're telling the truth? Fast forward 3-5 months later, however long we've been working together, am I a scammer?
Negative.
All right.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Parker, I want to know your entire journey from going to a completely different state, from California to Utah with what, $500 in your bank account, $1,000 in your bank account, to closing 6 figures within your first 6 months of wholesale real estate. Yep. Let's start at the beginning. Where did you come from? How did you start out? How did you even come across this industry?
I moved to Utah when I was like 18. I was planning on going on a mission for my church. Didn't go, so I had to do something. I had $1,000 to my name, a suitcase and a mattress, and I needed to move out, experience life. Ended up in Utah, and then just worked, a 9 to 5, 50, 60 hours a week overtime for a year and a half. Realized I didn't want to do the rat race. Went to school, started playing rugby again. Grew up playing rugby, so I was playing rugby at college. A year goes by, I learned about real estate, and that you can make money digitally or on real estate with no money. So I looked into it, got into Airbnb arbitrage, and I got 2 Airbnb arbitrage units, didn't use any of my own money, all just, utilized personal credit. Got those up, it was functioning well, and I just realized that, avenues in real estate was where it was, and they just weren't cash flowing as much as I'd like. They'd cash flow, but it wasn't enough to give me the life that I wanted. Yeah. Learned about wholesale real estate because, you hear about it, you see it, you're like, oh, that can't be true. There's no way I could flip a home with, no money, do this, do that. Yeah. A friend of mine got a mentor, and I was like, all right, I'll look into this. Looked into it, and it all made sense, and I was like, well, I'm going to try this. I got a mentor for Airbnb. I'm going to try this on my own. Got a deal within 30, 40 days. It was $14,500. Mm-hmm. That was awesome, life-changing. Wife and I were like, well, this actually works. Yeah. We can actually do this.
Real quick, I want to pause you right there. To even finding your first ever deal, what market was this?
Utah.
This is Utah.
Very competitive market.
In your hometown, you were able to find a deal.
Yeah, no, my first deal. So it was a iSpeed to lead, pay-per-lead deal. Wow. Very crazy how it works. So at the end of the year, iSpeed to lead will put all of their non-exclusively bought leads into PDFs separated by states, and you can buy them. Whoever bids the highest wins. It was Utah had 150 for $300. And I was completely new into the space. I heard an iSpeed to lead from RJ Bates, and I was like, oh, I think this is good. And I was like, that's $2 a lead. That's really good. Yeah. So I bought it, and I just started calling through this list. I'm 100 people deep, and everyone's pissed off, right? And I'm just man, this sucks. I'm I'm gonna keep going. I'm finish the list. Find a mobile home, and she wanted to sell. She said she was in a very abusive relationship, and she had to get out. And I was awesome. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. This wasn't digital. I was I could come meet you. You're 25 minutes from my house. Yeah. I go, I meet her, I shake her hand. I brought a purchase agreement with me, one that I just found online. Didn't even no idea what was said on it. I just knew that I could assign it. Got her to sign it, and ended up finding a buyer and made $14,500. I even walked the property with the buyer. It was a crazy deal, very crazy deal, because we found out that it wasn't even on owned land. It was a trailer, just a mobile home, but it wasn't on owned land. So the way that transacts is not through title office, it's through a DMV. Wow. Because it has a title like a vehicle. So we literally, me, the seller, and the buyer all showed up to the DMV together. Yeah. And the buyer gave the seller her check. She gave me my check. Yeah. Said thank you. Everyone was happy, and we went on our way.
That is crazy. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of mobile homes, but
I'm not either. I'm not either. It was crazy. It was a blessing. Crazy. It was a blessing, because every red sign, what not to look for in a wholesale deal, is on that deal, right? The land's not owned. It's an old mobile home. It was just, everything was screaming not to do it. But my lack of bias, if you will, I was like, I'm going for it. Like I got a lead. They said, yes, I'm going to try.
I always like to ask this question, if you don't mind me asking, because wholesale is the only industry that you can go into and have $400 in your bank account and walk out with $20,000 within 30 days, right?
Yeah.
Before that, how much money did you even have in the bank account before even closing on these wholesale?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. So like I said, when I moved to Utah, I was working 9 to 5, just doing my thing. I never wanted to go back to a job. I was busting my ass. I was like promised a promotion that you never got. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like it was a very bright sign at 19 years old, 18 years old that like you do not want to like have this like false sense of hope that you're getting something out of your control. So after that, my wife, thankful for her, she would work all the time, full-time student, full-time employee, and she provided us just enough to survive. Yeah. Like every month we were leveraging credit cards. You make, say, $2,500 a month, we cost $3,500 to live, but you structure it out where you can pay it off without inquiring payments or interest.
Wow.
Then we were getting really, really broke, and because that obviously catches up to you over time. So I started flipping couches, I was flipping ping pong tables. I would just go on Facebook Marketplace and find what was free, and I would sell it. And then I started doing that, and I would get money just enough to cover the cost. So I maybe had $1,000 in my account, and I was married. Nothing was going for me. Figure out wholesale, find a list. I'm like, all right, do I risk my 200 of my $1,000, right? 300 of my $1,000.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
For this, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I don't even think I told my wife that I spent that money because she would have been really pissed. Reasonably so. It was 30% of our cash, right? But I was like, I need to try it. Like I just need to try it. And yeah, so went from $700 in the account, and with credit cards probably a negative, right? My total net was negative.
Yeah.
My net worth, and yeah, next thing you know, I had 15 grand in my account, and I was like, yo, this is crazy.
That is so crazy, bro. Yeah. Now, whenever you close on this 15, your wife was working. Yeah. You guys are leveraging credit cards. You guys are like paycheck to paycheck, like really just trying to make it work, right?
Correct.
How did it feel when that $15,000 hit?
I told her to quit her job. I said, I got you. Because I knew once I could prove it that I would be able to make something of it. I'm a very fast learner. So like as I was learning this, I was connecting with as many people as I can. Come to find out, RJ Bates' method, I speed to lead, was just not scalable.
Yeah.
And met some people that said you need to get in a cold calling. I closed that deal, put $4K in a cold caller's new list, and in the next 30 days I closed like 35 grand, 40 grand. So I was ripping. And then I just kept going from there.
And how old are you at this time?
21.
You're 21 at the time.
Yeah, 21.
Gosh, that is so
21,
crazy,
maybe 22, but yeah.
So telling your wife to quit the job, did she end up doing it?
Yeah, no, she did.
She quit the job.
Because she always trusts me. Like throughout the whole process, like she'd have her moments, right? Like I think everyone would, where they have their frustration about finances, and your significant other isn't helping because they're chasing something bigger. Yeah. Like that's something that's very hard to adjust to, especially like she didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial household, so she didn't fully grasp the sacrifices. But she trusted me in the process. So like she trusted me when it wasn't working. So when it started to work, she's like, I still trust you, and I could see it's working. Yeah. And then she became, the wife that any entrepreneur would need. She takes care of everything and just trusted me, and I just started rolling.
And what was her name?
Mackenzie.
Yeah. If Mackenzie is watching this, shout out Mackenzie for holding him down. That is amazing, bro. With that being said, I'm pretty sure Mackenzie fits into this category of the question I'm about to ask, but you're flipping couches, leveraging credit cards. This is hard on you as a man. Mm-hmm. What was your why to keep going?
The biggest one was I wanted to give a life to my wife that she never had. Like she grew up, bless her parents, they're great heart. They worked their ass off, worked their way up at their jobs, but that's it, their jobs, right? They work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and that was just life, right? And that was something like she really appreciated it. She had a great life, but she saw others with more, and she wanted more. Yeah. So, when I started, doing my thing, she was just right there and was just ready to roll.
Wow. So just providing the life for your wife.
Yeah. Providing the life for my wife was the number one that she's always wanted. And then, the second, I just wanted to prove to myself that, I could do it. It's like, it's very, very hard to, when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's like, if you want to make this amount of money, you are aiming to be one out of every 100 people. Yeah. Like that legit, like that is the stat, right? So it's like, that is very, very hard, but I always felt something within myself, like I know I'm different. Yeah. And if there's a way to prove you're different, it's financially.
Yeah.
Like that's how you gauge success, is what you provide to the world and what the world gives back. And yeah, I wanted to prove to myself I could do it, and then give her the life that, she wanted.
And you did it.
I did it.
Now that you've done it, you're 23 now.
Yeah.
Parker that's 21, 22, whenever he's going through this time, there's another Parker watching this right now.
Yep.
He's watching this exact podcast. He's inspired by your story. What advice do you have for him?
Your next goal is always going to be bigger than your first goal. Like my first goal was to get my 15 grand, right?
Yeah.
But then after I got that 15, I was like, no, I want 100 grand. You know what I mean? But then throughout that whole time, it's, as you start making that money, I'm sure you can relate. We talked about this. When you see money coming in and you're young, you spend it. I don't care who you are. Like you're gonna spend that money.
Yep.
Like not all of it, but you're gonna spend some, right?
You are. Yeah.
And my wife, it drives her nuts that I did this, but like I had, my first like 30, 40, 50K month, all the homies everywhere went, I got you, I got you, bro. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, we're rolling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like I got you, top off, you name it. I just didn't realize as I progressed that my goals were just going to get bigger once I achieved them. You're never satisfied. Never. And I thought I would be satisfied, but it just brought short-term happiness and then a longer vision goal.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, once you do succeed, instantly start working towards your next goal.
Yeah.
And don't celebrate, because it's not good. It's going to last a couple days.
Damn. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, to everybody that's watching this, trust me. Whenever, I know right now you're just like, I just want 10K. You're going to close the 10K and you'll be like, oh my gosh. Like,
I just saw a new pair of shoes for $500. I'll still have $9,500.
It's like, I want bigger goals. I want to buy this. I want to do this. I want to take care of this person. What's the goal right now?
I don't know. I have a lot of goals, but I'd say my main goals, I want to be in a spot where money isn't the reason that I say no.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. Right? I want to just eliminate that stress of life by having a sufficient amount of cash.
Yeah.
Because I do not want my kid to come to me and be like, hey, I want to go get baseball lessons. I want a hitting coach. And I'm like, I can't afford it. Wow. I don't want to do that. So, just getting to the point where my goal, I think that number for me is, netting 500 grand a year. I think you could have complete 100% financial freedom anywhere across the U.S., California, New York, Florida. So yeah,
especially in Utah. Like, what are you
Utah.
spending money out there on?
Skiing, buddy. Skiing. Tear up them slopes.
Like, I don't understand what you're buying in Utah, but I guess skiing.
Skiing, food, more skiing. That's basically
that's
it.
Crazy, bro. Buffalo Wild Wings. I wish I was Parker's friend back then. Look.
Yeah, no, dude, literally, like everywhere we went, bro. Like, if I called her right now, she'd go on a tangent because it would drive her nuts. Because men are logical thinkers, girls are like emotional thinkers, but guys think very short term. I feel, and girls think long term.
Yeah.
That's how I've always viewed it.
100%. Yeah.
So she knew we have the money, but we're gonna need the money for something else, right? But in our minds, right, your mind is like, no, I'll make more money. It's all good. It's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So it was so stupid, bro. But it's like the first time, right? It's like you finally prove to yourself you do it. Like I don't necessarily regret doing those things because it was something I always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
But I just realized it's not that cool, right? Yeah. It didn't do that much. My life was the same the next month. Nothing changed.
Yeah. And that's something that I kind of realized is after I buy the car, the apartment, you have the zeros in the bank account.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's the same.
You're still the same person. It's easier to say when you're in the position, but for the person who's coming up, just know that be grateful for the money that you have right now. And I promise you, the more grateful that you are for what you have right now, more will come.
100%.
That'd be my advice. Now, you're on this wholesale journey. Mm-hmm. At this point, before we even met, how much have you already crossed in wholesale fees?
I was over 100 grand. I was 100, 150.
Already doing 100,000.
Yeah. Completely untrained too. I remember that was the first thing, when we first got on our first call, I was like, I have connections and that's it. I was like, I have an Airbnb coach and he's helped me out a lot. Mm-hmm. Super grateful for him. Properties had unfortunate situations, but super grateful for what he did. And then, I get into wholesaling and there's all these coaches that are, I'm not going to get into it, but they just where have you been the last 5 years? You know what I mean? Where were you 10 years ago? Where were you 15 years ago? And no one fit the criteria of what I wanted in a coach, which is someone that has never let themselves slack off to a point that their family was it was impacting their family. Yeah. And I think that's a very popular thing in, wholesaling is a lot of coaches, a lot of people use it kind of as their backup, right? Something else failed. Now we're going to this. Yeah. And you and I saw an opportunity now, no, we're all in, from day one of our young life, we're all in. Yeah. And I just never found anyone that fit that criteria until I met you. Yeah. So up before then, it was just literally whatever I thought would work.
Yeah.
That's one guy, maybe two guys say it's a good idea. I'd be rolling. You know
Just
what I
see
mean?
what happens.
See what happens.
On our first initial call, you had some red flags, but that's because everybody in the
Everyone
industry.
does, yeah.
What made you say yes?
Everything. So like, I think when we first talked, like I told you, like I see the vision of wanting to grow this wholesale company and then help out others. I was like, I really like helping others. I told you on our first call, like
Literally said that.
I was like on our first call, I was like, I want to be a coach. Like I am doing this to get income coming in, and I want to help other people do this because it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And then that was like, initiate the call with that, and you just kept going through the call and explaining how one-on-one you are, how you target markets that aren't super populated, and doing all these things that other people don't necessarily get on the dialer yourself. No one will tell you to get on the dialer yourself. Nobody. But we have 100, 200, 300 grand in the community right now closing, and they're all one-man shows.
Yep.
So that was like, all right, this is different. This is different. Results. He's aligned. He's available one-on-one. Oh, he's actually giving me his phone number. Like, what? That's crazy. And then, we just tried it out. I think even after we got going, like my life took a tank. Like, because at that point, I over-leveraged myself prior because I was just making I was making money, no guidance. Yeah. So I got to one point where I had 6 employees. I had 4 cold callers, 2 acquisition managers on top of inbound lead channels coming in. I was at like 15, 20 leads a day with Egyptians closing my deals and myself. So I was super screwed. Yeah. Because I didn't even train my team. Like I was just through an agency. So I had no idea what was going on, right? Yeah. And as you know, as any entrepreneur knows, if you over leverage yourself, it will bite you in the ass. Yeah. Like every single time, right?
Every single time.
And next thing you know, I had 3 deals that were going to get me like 75 grand, all supposed to close. And I wasn't paying as much attention to those on the dispo side as I need to because I had acquisitions that I was taking care of. Yeah. Next thing you know, all those deals went belly up. I'm out 20 grand in marketing costs from the last month or two, and I have no money coming in. So, and I think that's when I found you, and I was like, no, like, bro, like I made money, but like I need money now. Yeah. Like everything that I thought I was doing is not working.
So my secret is, you had joined my program. You were the cheapest client I had ever signed on, by the way, for like $1,000, right? Yeah. And I was supposed to charge you were $1,000 every single month for 5 months. And I remember you had told me you had a kid on the way and you still were working on some deals closing and all that. And I just didn't charge you at the second month. And then eventually I charged you the third month for your second payment. And I just never charged you again after that. Because you were coming to the community, you were helping people. I was like, yo, bro, he's cool. So that's my little secret.
I noticed on the statement, I was like, I don't think it's coming in. But like when you're so tight with money, bro, the last thing you want to do is look at your credit card statement.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, out of sight, out of mind, bro. I'm eating that 1,000. You know what I mean? But then I was like, no, I think it was supposed to be a little more this month. And I was like, I caught it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, bro. Every other coach, they would have. Bing, bing.
Well, bro, like how many people we talked to, bro? They spent 10 grand on a coach. Yep. They can't even get a hold of them ever.
Exactly.
If you hit up anybody that has paid 10K for a coach, they cannot call their coach and have them answer. I'll put money on it. I'll put an assignment deal on it.
Bro. Literally, bro. Literally.
If you call them 5 times a week.
I wish we can call out names, man. There's some.
Literally, bro. We know. And it's like you could try calling them 5 times during a week. You might get lucky if they answer once. Yep. And you will get 5 minutes of their time and they're out. Yep. They're in for the close, just like they are an assignment fee, and they're out.
You'll never hear from them again.
Never.
Every single one of my clients, my personal phone number, Slack chats, all that. Bro.
Everything.
So I love that. And if you guys don't know, so Parker, he was originally a client. He scaled up, was crushing it, started helping out the community, and now he is one of the best wholesale fucking coaches I've ever came across. So he's in the program. He's helping the students. You literally just helped John Luca close on an $18,000 deal at 18 years old.
Yeah, crazy. And the property, the property wasn't even on the legal description. Yeah. That's crazy.
Crazy, bro. Yeah. So yeah, he's now in the program helping a lot of the clients. So if you're watching this and you're about to join the program, you'll be talking not only just me, but Parker, who's just crushing it.
Hop in.
I'm telling you, Parker is going to get you to the next level. I don't even want to sell me. Parker's the GOAT. Parker's the GOAT here. So we started working together. Yep. What happens after? I just remember you were a crazy dude. Like I remember no one else. I said, so whenever you get in, you find 10 markets. Not Parker. He went every single state.
Every state.
Found the city and said, yo, bro, I got every single state ready. And then I get on your one-on-one call and I'm just looking at hundreds of states. I'm just like, I hope this one works. Like, I think this was gonna work, but there's so many to choose from. Yeah. I pulled the list, Tell me your journey after.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. So like first list I pulled, I was on the dialer. I was the one calling. I didn't have cold callers. I got like 8 leads, bro, in like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you could screw off cold caller agencies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you do not know what you're doing.
Yep.
And I just, kept going that route. That one market, 30,000 people. I have already made 20 grand in that market with another 15 grand closing next month in there.
Yeah.
So, and then just went to the next one, did the same thing there, closed another 15K deal, have another one pending for like 5K. But yeah, no, I've just been rolling ever since. Consistency is key.
What was the difference before we started working together to when we started working together? What did you change?
The mental stuff, the mental game. So like, I feel like everyone, not everyone, but it's results are what matter, right? And that's what you hear. That's what you see on social media. That's what people preach, is getting your assignment fees, getting your closings. And that's all I was focused on, was just banging phones, closing. And I wasn't doing anything for me. And one thing you really, harp on is your mental training, your physical training, what you do outside of work.
Yep.
And I always worked out, I've been doing it for years, relatively eat healthy. I have my moments where I go crazy. But I wasn't taking care of myself mentally. I was burnt out, and, every day was a fight. So the biggest change for me was just calming my mind down before the day and realizing and structuring my day that, you do not have in the grand scheme of things that much to do if you just break it down. So the biggest change for me is just organizing my mental state. And, that comes from affirmations, meditation, breath work, doing walks, you name it. I've done it, and it's if I cannot work now if I do not do that before my day. Like it is not possible.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of my favorite videos in the blueprint is the affirmations video.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody else has that. I think that has helped a lot of people alone. So the fact that you actually started doing it, when you showed me your affirmations journal, I was
Call,
like,
I close, I serve.
I call, I close, I serve.
Yep.
I'm curious, you've worked with a lot of the clients, and just maybe you talk to other people in the industry. Where do you feel like most wholesalers go wrong? Why can't they close deals?
I think they just overthink it. Like, the principle really is so simple, and it's like, especially in what we've provided, like I've gone through every state, what market will work.
Yeah.
All you have to do is join, see that list,
Yep.
pull that list, call that list. Guess what? Someone's going to say, I want to sell my property for $20,000. Say,
Yep.
Perfect. And you sign that. Next thing you know, you assign it to someone for 30.
Yep.
You make 10K. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. And I just feel like people, like, we've seen it. People get so stressed. They're so fixated on one deal, one lead, not getting a lead one day. And it's like, no, you just have to like trust the process and put your head down. Like, we've had, a month where we didn't close any deals. It didn't stop us.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we know in 2 months now we're going to close 4 deals, because it's all just about consistency and doing the easy work over and over and over again.
Yeah. I want to do a deal breakdown. I want to do your biggest deal breakdown.
Biggest deal. I have, to everybody, I've not closed big deals. Big deals to me. I've closed multiple $20,000+ deals.
What's the deal? What was the
25,000 was the biggest one.
That's a big deal.
And the biggest one on the HUD ever was 31,000, but I had to pay off a memo of 15 grand, which was stupid. I could have, that was in the beginning. I could have negotiated better, but I got 15 grand off it, right? But yeah, 25 grand. And that deal was, that one was, it was a crazy deal. It was a crazy deal.
How'd you find it?
Cold callers, actually.
Cold callers.
Cold callers,
Okay.
yeah.
Cold caller, they're reaching out to the deal. What market was this
North
in?
Carolina.
In North Carolina, they bring you the deal.
Yeah.
What's the story with the seller?
The first one, it was actually my first 25K one was a fire property. I locked it up for like 13 grand, but as I know, North Carolina is probably one of the best wholesale states in the country. Like, with just deal flow buyers, like, it is, if you get a deal there and it's good, it will go super, super quick. So I locked it up. Comps were good. Like, everything looked good. I thought the spread was there. The only thing is it was a fire property.
Yep.
It didn't look terrible. It was like fire in the upstairs, one room. It wasn't awful. Locked it up for 13. I put it up for like 45. So what was that, like 32 grand? And I was just getting blown up left and right. And I was like, oh, whoa, like, this would actually be a big deal, right? Fire damage was obviously worse than I expected. People's numbers, started coming in low, but within 3 days of getting that under contract, I had it assigned for $25,000. And, we closed on it like a week later.
Gosh. What are you doing different that other wholesalers just can't do on the phones? Like, how are you approaching your sellers? What's your strategy?
I think like a big part of it, like, I have a lot of experience, and so it's like, when I don't even think I've told you this, like my first sales job was, well, like I've always been wanting to do my own thing, I guess. So like 14, 15, 16, 17, all of high school, me and my buddies would hang Christmas lights in the winter. Like that was our business.
Wow.
And like we'd be on the roofs, three-story houses. Like, yeah, we weren't scared, and we would just do that, and then we'd have money for the year. So that's kind of where like my entrepreneurial journey started. Like, oh, I can make money on my own. And then at 15 years old, like in between the winters, I met a guy in my church, and he owned a solar company. And I heard about sales, and I was like, can I go knock doors for you? Right? Stupid, right?
Yeah.
But he knows the industry. He's like, oh, of course you can knock doors for me. Like, that sounds good to me. And I was, every day after school, me and my buddy would go start knocking doors in neighborhoods, like in the ghetto. And we were just walking neighborhoods, knocking doors. So I got that instinct of not being afraid of a cold outreach, if you will, right? Like if you're knocking on a door, you could call someone over the phone.
Yeah.
So that's like, where my sales journey started. And then as I just grew it, I did that. I did HVAC sales. So I was selling air filters while I was working at Subaru. So I would be driving cars, and I had a list, and I would call deal, try to close deals doing that. And then got into Airbnb arbitrage, and then I found wholesaling, and I was like, wait, now I could take all of these skills,
all these sales,
just put it right into here, and do it digitally from my home.
Yep.
And so I just start calling people, and I've never struggled to talk on the phone with someone, and face to face, definitely, like it'll happen, just normal social anxiety. But over the phone, I can act however I want.
Yeah.
So I, just start picking up the phones, and I was just I could connect with anyone on the phone. Wow. I know for a fact I could go toe to toe with anyone on the phone.
Yeah.
It's just natural for me.
What advice would you have for someone who's like super scared of the phones?
Yeah, it's really not that scary. Like so many people get scared, and it's like I'm a massive overthinker. So it's like I thought of all the scenarios. They're like there is none that can happen to you. Like what are they gonna do?
Nothing.
Hang up? Like I could just walk out of this room and like the conversation's over. On the phone, you press a button, you'll never hear or see them again.
Yep.
So like once you accept that and just get over and realize there's nothing they could do to me. This isn't gonna affect me socially or internally. Just go for it.
Just go for it.
And just match their energy. Like it's not hard. Most of these people you talk to, you're talking to adults. You're not talking to kids. They're not like, they know what they want. They know when they want it. They're going to get what they want. Like it's just kind of how adults are. And if you just covet it, like, if they're like, hello, and you're like, hello, you want to sell your house? Like that will help you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You literally it's just matching energy.
That's all it is.
Matching energy and being free.
What makes a successful wholesaler?
Consistency. Just consistency. Because like everyone, there's hundreds of people. You have Eric Klein, you have Tony Mont, you have RJ Bates, you have Nick Perry, you have all these big names. And it's like most of them preach the same thing. It's just you get leads, you close the leads, you sell the leads.
Yep.
That's all you do, right? Yep. So it's like, hey, which way do I get the leads? You and I like cold calling, and we like inbound leads.
Yep.
Boom. Now what's the next step? I have to call them and I have to close them. And this is a process that has just been repeated over and over again. For years. Years. Literally years. Like I think we're on decades now. And if you just follow the steps that people have done to succeed, you will succeed. It's just a numbers game. Just like it's sales and marketing.
Yep.
Eric Klein says it all the time. It's sales and marketing. You get 40 leads, you get one contract.
Yep.
One contract is 20 grand. Boom. Yep. That's it. So I just need to call 200 people. 200 people will get me 40 leads. 40 leads will get me one contract.
Yep.
If you call 60 leads and no, you don't get a contract, you call 70, you get a contract, there's a high chance you only have to call 25 on your next one because it's all just a numbers game.
I like to tell every single wholesaler, if you see someone closing a deal, it's because they made more calls than you.
100%. That's all it is.
The only reason you're watching this and you're like, damn, Parker retired, his wife took care of his family, and he made 6 figures within 6 months, he made more calls than you.
Simple as that.
That's all. Right? But it gets hard. How do you stay consistent?
You just got to want it.
You got to want it.
It's like, you just got to want it. It's like, look at a car dealership. Who sells the most cars? The guy who approaches the most customers.
Yep.
That's literally it, bro. It's literally it. So it's like, let me approach more sellers and I will close more than you.
Yep.
That's it. It's literally as simple as that. It's just so simple.
Now, after getting into wholesaling, I always like to say wholesaling builds you up as an entrepreneur. Probably one of the only businesses that can turn someone from literally not knowing anything to like a pretty decent level entrepreneur. You can go into any other industry and do pretty good, right? Yeah. You learn sales, you learn marketing, you learn organization, objections, CRM, all that. What have you learned from the industry? Yeah,
I would say all those things. Like it's very hard, like in e-commerce and drop shipping and literally anything, a coffee shop, you name it, to get a business to multiple 6 figures a year first year.
Yeah.
Like that's a very hard accomplishment. Like, right, you go look at like a business forms, a business trying to help you out. How much are you making a year in your business in revenue? And it starts at 0 to 100, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 500 plus, right? And in wholesaling, you can get in that 500 plus, 300 plus in a year.
Very quickly. Yep.
And that's a lot of revenue to be transacting at such a young age, old age, just no matter what in your first year of business or second year in business. And that you can't process that much without problems.
Yeah.
And the more problems an entrepreneur faces, the better he's going to be, in my opinion. And it's like, just like you said, we have problems with this CRM. We have a problem with lead control. We have a problem with our acquisitions. Now we have a problem with our sales team. Now we have a problem with our marketing team. Now we have a problem with our logistics team. Now we're pulling bad data. And it's like all of these things. And now we could take all these things and just implement them into other businesses of what we've learned.
Anyone who has scaled a wholesale company, you are a professional problem solver.
Professional.
I can tell you, Parker, you're a creative. We've talked about your other companies that you have outside of wholesale. Any of those companies, I'm pretty sure a fire comes up, you're like,
nothing.
It's like, this is easy. Like,
it's easy.
That's all?
Easy
it's
fix.
like easy fix. Because you just learn to solve problems over and over and over and over again. You're dealing with the seller's emotions, the buyer's emotions, the title company's emotions. Title saying they need this and this. You don't even know how to spell affidavit of hearship, and you still got to solve for that. Like, you don't know what's going on, right? So wholesaling is that industry that's going to turn anyone to an entrepreneur.
Yep, 100%.
So far, I think this is an amazing episode of Certified Closers. I just want to ask you, Parker, there is somebody who wants to get into the industry. They're lost. They moved to Utah. They only have $1,000 in their bank account. What do you want to say to them?
You got to choose your hard. I don't know. Me and my wife are very big on choosing your hard. You choose your life. Every day you complain about the life you're living, you wake up and live that same life. You just got to choose your hard. Like, I don't know how it's explained. Like, you either want to struggle with $1,000 in your name, or you want to struggle chasing $20,000.
Yeah.
Right. And I wanted that. I wanted to face the struggle of chasing 20.
I fucking love that, bro. With that being said, Parker, I appreciate you being on another episode of Certified Closers.
Appreciate it.
For anybody who wants to get in contact with Parker, where can they follow you?
The Real Parker on Instagram.
YouTube channel yet?
No, YouTube channel is coming. Couple weeks.
We're going to work on that. All right. Y'all have a great day.